Isang mapagpalang umaga sa inyo mga kapwa Kabitenyo and welcome sa Kalye Kulinarya Cooking Demonstration. Ngayong umaga, ibabahagi ko sa inyo ang pinagmamalaking sangkap ng ating minamahal na bayang Cavite. Unahin natin ang ating mga sangkap na gagamitin. Gagamit tayo ngayon ng ating imus longganisa, tinapang salinas at ang pinakapaborito nating almusal tuwing umaga, ang quesillo cheese. Ang una nating gagawin ay ang ating spicy tinapa dip. Unahin muna natin ang ating mga kailangan ng ingredients. Unang-una na ang ating tinapang salinas. Alam nyo ba na isa to sa pinagmamalaki ng Cavite, lalong-lalo na sa bayan ng Rosario. Susunod natin, of course, ay ang ating bawang, sibuyas, celery, lalagyan natin ng mayonnaise, and sour cream. And of course, huwag natin kalimutan ang ating asin, paminta, ang ating olive oil, at ang ating green onion. Simulan na natin ang ating unang dish. Unahin muna natin hiwain ang ating mga gulay. Meron ako dito isang buong sibuyas. Next ay ating bawang. Kung napapansin nyo, nahimay ko na ang aking tinapang salinas. At meron din ako dito chopped na celery. Meron din akong na-roast na siling haba or ating siling berde. Of course, ang aking asin paminta, olive oil, and of course, yung ating mayonnaise at sour cream. Umpisahan muna natin igisa ang ating tinapa sa ating mga gulay. So, maglalagay muna ako ng olive oil sa aking pan. Pwede kayo gumamit kahit hindi olive oil, kahit regular na vegetable oil, okay lang. Next, ilagay muna natin ang ating bawang at sibuyas. Sa part na to, pwede na natin pagsamahin ng paggisa ng ating bawang at sibuyas. Pero traditionally, in Filipino culture, tayo po mga Pinoy, inuuna natin ang paggisa ng bawang. Pero sa ibang bansa, gaya ng mga banyaga, inuuna muna nila ang sibuyas. Pero sa atin dito sa Pilipinas, pagsamahin na natin para una natin makuha ang tunay na lasa ng ating spicy tinapa dip. Pwede natin ating ihalo ang ating celery. So yung celery, magbibigay siya ng konting flavor dun sa ating tinapa dip. So ito yung tinatawag natin na Holy Trinity sa ibang bansa. Okay? So ito po yung kombinasyon ng ating bawang, sibuyas at celery. Okay? At this point po, maglalagay na ako ng asin paminta para tuluyang lumabas yung lasa ng ating sibuyas, celery, at ang ating bawang. Okay, i-ready ko na yung ating roasted chili. So if you want this tip po to be super spicy, you can add more than just one chili po. So I'll add my roasted chili. And then I will add na po yung ating hinimay na tinapang salinas. So talagang umaamoy na yung ating tinapang salinas dito sa ating studio. At alam ko, kayo rin po ay takam na sa ating una pa lang na dish ngayong umaga. So habang ginigisa ko yung ating tinapa, okay, dahan-dahan ko siyang binibreak down into smaller pieces para mamaya po pag binlend natin siya sa ating blender, magiging isang smooth and creamy na pate siya. or yung ating tinatawag na spicy tinapa dip. Okay. For extra flavor, mag-a-add ako ng green onions. So at this point, okay lang po that everything is in a rough chop since i-blender naman natin siya right after. So hindi muna ako maglalagay ng asin at paminta since medyo maalat na yung ating tinapang salinas. Okay. Then let's set our blender na po para we can start making our first dip. Okay. So matapos natin gasahin ang ating tinapa together with our vegetables, ilalagay natin siya sa ating blender. Then, let's add our mayonnaise and sour cream. So for a creamy texture po, we'll add our mayonnaise. And also sour cream po. Now you can add po yogurt if you like, but with this recipe po, it goes very well po with sour cream. So our goal here is hindi po siya maging super puree, but na a nice creamy texture po. And then, I'll add po a little bit of olive oil. Then let's start blending our tinapa dip. Okay, so at this point, dahan-dahan ko lang siyang lalagyan ng olive oil since ayoko ma-break yung kanyang creamy and chunky texture. Maganda po kung medyo nalalasahan pa natin or nakukuha pa natin sa ating mga dila yung tinapa. Okay, so ang habol natin is a nice creamy consistency. At the same time, kahit pa paano chunky so that we can still feel po yung ating tinapang salinas sa ating spicy dip. Okay. So have here a very nice creamy texture. I hope kita po natin sa ating mga audience yan. Ayan. So what we'll do now is, of course, let's do a quick taste test po of our tinapa dip. Now, if you still need to add po sugar, pwede po tayo magdagdag ng sugar for konting sweetness. Or, you can add more of the green chilies na ni-roast natin kanina para mas maging super spicy siya. But for me, the taste is okay. Angat na angat na po yung ating tinapang salinas. All we have to do now is plate our first dip, and then we'll move on sa ating pangalawang dip, which will feature the quesillo cheese. Since tapos na tayo sa ating first dip, it is now time for us to plate our spicy tinapa salinas dip. So again, we want this nice creamy texture po in our tinapang salinas. So still, we want to give the dip a bit of character. Since again, ang isa pong hina-highlight natin dito is yung ating tinapang salinas, which is isa sa mga product na pinagmamalaki ng ating mahal na bayang Cavite. And so what's good about this dip po is that you could use this po whenever you have small parties sa inyong mga pamamahay, especially po ngayong Pasko. Why not make something different for your family and highlighting yung mga ingredients na meron tayo dito sa ating mahal na bayang Cavite. Let's finish this up po with a little bit of olive oil and some green onions po for garnish. Okay, and there you go. We have our first dip. Ang susunod na ibibida natin sa ating appetizer ay ang Kalye cheese. Isa ito sa pinagmamalaking produkto ng Cavite City. Isa rin to sa mga pinaka-favorite breakfast fare ng ating mga kapwa Caviteño. Lalong-lalo na kaparehas ito ang isang mainit na pandesal at ang isang baso ng isang thick and creamy na chocolate tablea. Ngayon po, ibibida natin ngayon ang paggawa ng isang dip na sigurado na magugustuhan ng ating mga pamilya. So meron po ako ngayon dito, Kalye cheese. Okay? Sa ibang lengguwahe po, tinatawag itong white buffalo cream mozzarella. But for us here in our local land of Cavite, we call this as Kalye or Kalye cheese. So lalagyan po natin siya ng, again, spicy flavor kundi ang ating roasted chilies. Together with mayonnaise and sour cream. So let's start first po muna kung ating paglalagay ng ating cheese sa ating blender. Okay? The good thing po about Kalye cheese is hindi siya masyadong maalat. It has a nice, delicate flavor po. Kaya po siya perfect sa ating almusal together with sweet jam. So fruit jams po minsan po yung ating ginagamit na accompaniment ng ating Kalye cheese. Okay? Since ito po yung pinakabida natin sa ating second dip, so lalagyan ko po siya ng maraming Kalye cheese. And of course, if you want it spicy, we can add more of our roasted green chilies. So I'll add na po yung ating roasted green chilies. So you can add po more than 1 green chilies. If you want to make it more spicy, then add 3. And then for a nice sour kick po, lagyan po natin ng sour cream. And then mayonnaise po for a smoother texture. So as you can see kanina, same ingredients lang po yung ating mga dips today. So doon lang po siya umiikot. Our highlight po at the end of our dish is the 3 ingredients na meron tayo ngayon sa ating lamesa. Okay? So again po, just like sa paggawa ng ating tinapadip, lalagyan ko rin siya ng olive oil. Pero dahan-dahan lang kasi we still want to retain yung kanyang creamy texture. So wag po tayo masyadong maglagay ng olive oil kasi po mangyayari, too much oil will make our dip too runny. Ang kailangan po is creamy texture. So again, you can add po more chilies if you want it spicy. Yan, excited na akong tikman. This is one of my favorites. So let's check first the consistency and also the taste ng ating Kalye dip number 2. Okay, so let's check the texture. So hindi siya runny. It still sticks po through my spoon. Let's taste first. So napaka-overpower nung lasa ng chili, but that's what we want. We want it spicy. At this point po, I can add more cheese or I can add more sour cream. But since this is more about Kalye cheese, we'll add more po. This is what we want po. To really highlight po yung isa sa mga produkto ng Cavite, which is the Kalye cheese. And then maglalagay lang po ako ng konting salt since Kalye cheese po is not that salty. So just to balance lang po the flavor. No need po to add pepper since meron na tayong chili. Okay, of course, let's do one more taste test since naglagay tayo ng salt. So again, same texture we want, this creamy texture po, not too runny. And then of course, the most important thing po is yung lasa. That's perfect po. Okay, so again, here we have our finished dip, our Kalye cheese with a touch of spice. Okay, so we have our second dip done. Now, we're going to plate it. Okay, and then we'll add olive oil po. And then of course, a simple garnish of pichay. At ngayon po, to complete our 3 sets of dip, we will now go po sa ating pinaka-main highlight, which is the Imus Longganisa. Being one po from Imus, sadyang ito po talaga yung pinagmamalaki namin. Hindi lang po siya punong-puno ng sarap at sustansya. It is made from 100% meat, walang preservatives, at the same time, tad pa siya ng bawang, which alam ko, paborito ng lahat ng ating mga Pilipino. To complete this particular dip po, we need the following ingredients. We have onion, garlic, we have tomatoes, we have po spinach. Pwede po nating isab yung spinach with kangkong. Pwede rin po tayo magmalunggay, or isa sa mga paborito nating breakfast pairs dito sa Cavite ay ang mustasa together with scrambled egg. Tama po ba? Kaya po, hindi mawawala sa dish na to yung egg. Pero this time po, yung ating egg, ilalagay po natin siya sa ibabaw at ibe-bake po natin siya. Top with more quesillo cheese. So let's start na po our third dip. So the first thing po na gagawin natin is we're going to cut all of our vegetables. Unahin muna natin ang ating sibuyas, bawang. Now, if you want to add po bell pepper, pwede naman po for that extra crunch na binibigay ng gulay na ito. Yan. So, naglagay na po ako ng mantika sa ating saute pan. So, again, I'm using olive oil po. Pero pwede po tayong gumamit ng kahit regular vegetable. Since may garlic na yung ating longganisa, you have the option po not to add more garlic. Pero since Filipino tayo, why not? Let's add more garlic. So, just like our first dip po kanina, we'll be sauteing together na po yung ating bawang and our onion. Then let's also cut our tomatoes. You can leave the tomatoes po out of this recipe, but for me po, the tomatoes will give it a nice saucy texture po. Kasi again, the tomatoes po do have a lot of water and will make po the dip more juicy, hindi po siya dry. So again, this is the holy trinity po of sauteed food. Okay? Tomatoes, onion, and garlic combined. So my take po is now to add salt and pepper para po ma-release yung flavor ng ating vegetables. At this point, it seems a little bit dry sa aking pan, but take note, we're still going to add our Imus Longganisa, which has a lot of good content fat in it, which makes it more special po than the longganisas that we have po, like tukban. Okay, this is more po on the lighter side but packed with flavor. So tinanggal ko na po siya sa casing. But if you want to retain po yung kanyang texture, okay, you can add naman po your longganisa with the casing. Just slice it po into chunks. So we'll let our longganisa meat cook. But let's chop po our next vegetable, which is our spinach. Yung spinach po, na pre-boiled ko na po siya. And then, in-squeeze ko po yung excess water to make sure that it's not too soupy yung pinaka-dip po natin. Still, we want something po that we can get with a spoon or something that we can spread sa tinapay. So again, you can use po substitutions such as malunggay if you want, or kangkong, or more adventurous, since Cavite nyo tayo, why not mustasa? Ayan. Kung nandito lang kayo guys, maaamoy nyo yung bango ng longganisa na galing sa Imus. Kanin na lang ulam. Direct? Ito yung kanin? Ayan. So it's now the time to add our spinach. So, minamahal natin mga mommies dyan. Kung hindi niyo po napapakain ng gulay ang inyong mga anak, trust me po, when I say this, sa dish na to, siguradong mapapakain sila. So, what ingredients pa po ang pwede natin i-add? We can add mushrooms if we'd like. Or, gaya ng sabi ko, bell pepper for additional crunch. Next is, we're going to add mayonnaise and again, sour cream. So those are the two ingredients that we have been using for since our very first dip. That will give our dip a nice creamy texture. But, pag i-add ko na siya, papatayin ko na siya sa heat. Okay? Kasi ayokong maging too runny because of the heat yung ating dip. Once the longganisa is cooked, all we have to do now is add both our sour cream and our mayonnaise. And we're done. Again, sa part po na to, pinatay ko na po yung ating apoy. Okay? Para po at least hindi siya maging too runny. Para ma-retain yung kanyang creamy texture. At the same time, of course, our sour cream. So ito po yung magiging binder ng ating Imus longganisa dip. Pero this one is more chunky. Now, since we added na po our sour cream and our mayonnaise, let's do a taste test. So dapat po ang mangingibabaw pa rin is yung longganisa. Wow! Kahit mga bata, makakain to. Promise yan mga moms. So all we have to do is plate this dish. Let's get a baking dish. For this one po, I'll be using a cast iron skillet. And then what I will do to make this po more special, sort of a breakfast treat, ilalagay po tayo ng egg on top. So, gawa lang tayo ng well at the center para doon natin lalagay yung ating fresh yolk or whole egg po natin. Okay? But first, mag-a-add lang ako ng quesillo cheese. We still have more, so let's go all out po sa pag-add. Then place po natin yung ating egg sa center. At a bit of salt. And of course, pepper. And then, set natin siya sa oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. Or as long as makook yung egg, at the same time, ma-retain natin yung pagka-runny texture. And now, kumpleto ng ating trio of tips. Muli po, ako si Chef Nicole, 2018 Kalye Kulinarya Grand Champion.